Hello again and welcome back to the channel. Today I am checking out the G.I. Joe Ultimates Storm Shadow from Super 7. So I picked this guy up from eBay actually. I didn't go to Super 7 or Big Bad Toy Store this time because I had my doubts with the disappointing second wave. I wanted to wait and see what some of the reviews were like for this particular line. And then I pulled the trigger on Storm Shadow and Lady Scarlet. One thing to note straight off the bat is they've got rid of this metallic look. So here's the Baroness figure from Wave 2. So they've gone with a more matte finish for the cover. I don't really mind it. I'm just wondering why they did that. Probably a cost thing. So taking a look at the packaging, nothing we haven't seen before. Storm Shadow Cobra Ninja. And then he is number 1. We're almost certainly going to get alternate Storm Shadows, I would assume, and then I think that's for Wave 3, G.I. Joe Wave 3. In the back, G.I. Joe, and then taking off the slip cover. He actually looks pretty good. It looks like they've corrected some of their wrongs with the second wave in terms of the lack of paint, but we'll have a close look in a minute. On the back, a readout, and then some images from the animation. So far, so good. Let's open it up and have a look. Okay, so here he is out of the packaging with all of his accessories. And as you can see, he comes with a heap of accessories, including a bow, Excalibur, katana, wakizashi, tanto, 3 arrows, sniper rifle, 3 throwing stars, nunchucks, an alternate arm, alternate head, left and right chopping hands, left and right holding hands, left throwing hand, left gripping hand, and a right bow hand. Let's have a closer look at these accessories. I was pretty impressed with the bow. I didn't realise it actually has a elasticated bow or a draw. That's quite good. This is just solid plastic, but it does have some flex to it. Excalibur is also pretty cool. It's a bit beefy. Quite nice. I think it might be luminous. It might glow up maybe, I'm not sure. And then he comes with 3 swords. So this one here is the katana, the longer one. This one is the wakizashi, and then this smaller one is the tanto. And he can get most of them on. 1, 2, oops, wrong way around. There we are. 1, 2, and then this. Is this for Excalibur? Surely not. No, it must be for bow. No, it's a quiver. You idiot, James. It's a quiver, obviously. It feels like it's actually segmented down there. Can't quite see, but it does feel like it has individual segments. Yep, it does. There we are. So the quiver can be loaded up, and then so can the sheaths. But there's no room anywhere else for anything else, regardless. Then he comes with this pretty simplistic sniper rifle, just the solid blue. That is quite solid plastic. This is kind of those situation where you'd prefer it to be a little bit pliable so it doesn't snap, but it does look nice and straight. The nunchucks were also pretty cool as well. It actually has a working chain, so well done, Super 7. I'm not a huge I haven't seen a lot of the cartoons, so I don't know what this is actually in reference to. Let me know in the comments. I'm sure someone will tell me, but it is nice. The sculpt underneath is pretty much identical. Then he also has the alternate arm with the Arashikage, I think it's called, the tattoo. Look at the sloppy paintwork. So, oh man. So the tattoo actually goes over the white there on the bands, and then the skin tone as well goes over the white. Oh, that is so shit. Such a shame. Yeah, that is a shame. Anyway, let's give it a go. I don't know if this comes off. It's starting to annoy me. Does it come off? I don't know if that does. I don't want to break it, obviously. I'm going to play around with that a little bit later. Anyway, let's see if I can get this arm off. Okay, managed to get it off. And let's see if this one fits in nice enough. There we go. It's a shame about the sloppy paintwork, because I prefer that. Just gives it a little bit of something, but oh, look how shit it is. Come on. And while we're talking about sloppy paint, look at the the throwing stars in his belt. So the black from the belt, it's actually all over the stars. That's pretty poor. Anyway, enough with the negatives. So let's talk about some of the positives. This obviously not painted on, but it is nice. The Cobra logo, very, very nice. It does look clean, very nice and clean. Almost a bit too clean. I was expecting him to have a little bit of a grey or a yellowy accent to him, but he doesn't. It's pure white. Apart from this here, the skin tone, the paintwork on it is also very nice. Not only on the arms, but also on the sculpt as well. The eyebrows are done really well. The eyes are done really well. So yeah, they've done a good job there. So this is really the only problem, and the belt with the paintwork. Everything else is quite nice. Yeah, and he stands up easily too. Okay, so let's take a look at the articulation. Now before I start, I have played around with this a little bit, and I am convinced that it's not supposed to come off. Pretty sure that this quiver pegs right the way through the sheaths into the band, and this is glued here and here, so that is not coming off at all, which is a little bit of a shame, because I would like to remove it and have a completely clean look, but oh well. So in terms of articulation at the head, he's getting no down whatsoever, nothing, zero, zilch, and only a tiny amount up to about there. He can get a full rotation and a bit of a wobble. He can T-pose with no issue. He does have quite a decent range of motion at the shoulder, slightly restricted because of the gi at the top of the gi here, and then bicep swivel, single jointed elbow, and then complete range of motion at the peg, the wrist. He gets virtually no ab crunch. Even if he did, he's going to stab himself with these, but if you move them out of the way, he can only get down to about there. Not much at all, and not much further back either. You can, let's just move those out of the way. You can get some rotation though at the waist. You are going to come into some restriction with the gear on his back, but it is there. And at the legs, up to about there, out to about there. No back because of his back or his arse. Single jointed knee, boot cut, and then a rocker at the ankle. Now, something that I do like with this knee is you can see here, he has this like a lip here. So when it's joined together, has quite a nice clean look to it. Yeah. So I guess this is the only time where I want a bit more with the Ultimates in terms of articulation. I've got no issue usually with the articulation being quite limited. I get these figures mainly as display pieces. I'm not going to be putting them in any dynamic poses, but this is the one character where you would want to maybe get his leg up and do some dynamic posing. And you can get some poses, not too bad. But yeah, it's pretty much your stock standard affair with any Ultimate. And in terms of scale, here he is next to Classified Storm Shadow, Reaction Storm Shadow, and Ultimate Snake Eyes. Okay, so my final thoughts on Super 7's G.I. Joe Ultimates Storm Shadow. Now this is the first entry for Storm Shadow in this line, but I dare say it'd be the last. And so far, so good, with one exception, the paint application. Now, the paint application on that extra arm is just very, very poor. It's a huge shame. It really takes away from the overall look, and one that I was not expecting. Hopefully it's just my figure and not a common issue, but something which I was also very unfortunately surprised to see make a return is the hands are being damaged, the paint application on the hands by the accessories. This is an issue that I remember back in the day with the Motu Ultimates figures, and I thought that Super 7 had sorted it out a long time ago, but here it is again. So that is a big shame that they haven't nailed that one yet. But that aside, everything else is very nice. He has a fantastic look about him. He really looks like he walked out of the animation. The accessories are great. He's not overly articulated, so he can't use a lot of them, particularly the sniper rifle and the bow. He's not really going to do much with that, and I couldn't really get him to use that bow like he should, but it could just be me. But everything else, very nice indeed. Still a little bit high, these figures, averaging around $100 in Australia, which I think is a little bit too high. I think $70, $80 is the sweet spot for these figures, but so far I am enjoying this line, and this is a massive improvement over the second wave. So that about wraps up this review. I certainly hope that you've enjoyed it, and if you have, please do consider giving this video a like and subscribing. Until next time, take care.